Hello. Hi, this is Grace Chadding, founder of Relationship Academy, with part 6 of the Communication for Couples series. And up till now, we've been talking about different aspects of communication for couples, setting an intention, listening particularly to understand, listening to what the other person isn't saying, not in a quizzing way, but in a tuning in because you really want to understand them and miss important things that people are trying to communicate. And so in the last video, I talked about the listen and check exercise, and I hope you've had a go at that. And it really does work, even though it always feels a bit clumsy, because people's impulse is to just want to say what they want to say. As opposed to just sit back and listen. So listening is really, really important. So in this video, I want to talk about the importance of taking responsibility for your own feelings. Now, a lot of couples, and a lot of people, I would have been one of them when I was a younger woman until I learned these things. I would have thought, well, he makes me unhappy, or he makes me angry, or she drags me down, or, I would have, like many people and many couples, blame their partners for how they're feeling. Particularly when they feel unhappy or angry. People say, you make me angry. Well, look, here's the deal. Nobody can make you anything. Now, I know that sounds a bit counterintuitive, because if somebody's being, speaking to you in a nasty way or treating you badly and disrespectfully, it doesn't feel good to be on the receiving end of that. But actually, the feelings that come up for us are our own feelings. And yes, you could say, oh, well, if somebody's speaking to you really disrespectfully, no matter who it is, they wouldn't like it. Yes, that's probably true. But whatever feeling comes up for you is your feeling. There are some people, if somebody was speaking to them in a disrespectful or nasty way, could stand back and observe, well, that person is being disrespectful right now, but I don't have to get upset about it. So there is an art and a skill in arriving at that point where someone's, if you like, bad behavior or a nasty or disrespectful behavior, it doesn't have to affect you. It will affect you as much as you allow it to. Obviously, sometimes if someone's being disrespectful and nasty to you, sometimes you just have to remove yourself from them. And I know that's not always possible. The bottom line is, whatever feeling comes up, it's our feeling. Now, because we immediately blame the other person and say, you made me feel that way, you give your power away to that other person, and that person will always have the power to make you feel angry or bad. They don't actually have that power unless you give it to them. Now, usually in relationships and in the early stages of relationships, when you're learning all this stuff, I'm inviting you to stop and think, when you feel hurt, sad, angry, to allow for the fact that we all trigger feelings in each other. So your partner can be a trigger for angry, hurt, sad feelings. And the thing is to just observe what it is that you're feeling. Notice that feeling. And a useful thing, if you can't do it in the moment at the time, but maybe to go away and reflect on it and notice the feeling. And if it's anger, for example, notice whereabouts in your body you're feeling that. Notice what does this remind me of? What does this feeling remind me of? And if you go back to your earliest recollection of feeling that feeling, often it will take you back to when you were a child and somebody was being angry with you, um, or treating you badly, or in a way, and when you felt angry, or you felt sad, or you felt helpless, or you felt powerless. All of those feelings that we feel that our partners can trigger in us, they don't make us feel those feelings. They trigger those feelings in us. And those feelings often, it's not the first time that we ever felt them. Often those feelings we will have felt with previous partners, in previous and earlier relationships, but most of them, those feelings go back to when you were young, and the feeling has got triggered, and it has come up in that moment. So in the next video, I'm going to well, I'll tell you what you can do about that feeling. But for now, I want you to take on board, and I know it's not an easy thing to take on board, that nobody can make you feel anything. It's your feelings that get triggered. And I know it took me a long time to get that one, because it seemed to me really obvious. A very unhappy relationship that I was in, as far as I could see, he was making me feel that way. And it took a long while for me to even begin to allow myself to get my head around that actually it was my feelings. And I cleared them up. And it was a huge milestone in my personal development. But also it meant in my current relationship, I've been married for 20 odd years now to my current husband. And it's been such a helpful and useful thing that when I feel sad or hurt or angry, that I don't blame him. I realize it's my feeling. It's got triggered. Some of his behavior might have triggered it, but he didn't make me feel that. And that it has been a really useful thing in our relationship for us both to understand that and not blame each other for how we're feeling. So I hope that has made sense to you, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.